mo níṣẹ́ ti gbọ́ SPFS TV tó milẹ̀ títí tó ṣàprápra tó tún lè lálejò tó táwọn yọ. SPFS TV òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ kókó. ọ̀dà ṣó ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ kókó. àǹtí ṣó ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ kókó. ẹ̀yin àgbẹ̀ṣẹ́ ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ kókó. SPFS TV lórí YouTube subscribe. ẹ̀kọ́ àgbẹ̀ tó yè kóró. ìròyìn lóríṣiríṣi nípa agriculture. SPFS TV òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tókó. ọ̀dà ṣó ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tókó. àǹtí ṣó ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tókó. ẹ̀yin àgbẹ̀ṣẹ́ ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tókó. SPFS TV lórí Facebook, SPFS TV lórí YouTube, SPFS TV lórí Instagram for your agricultural programs lóríṣiríṣi. àgbẹ̀ ọlọ́sìn ẹja oríire ti dé, ọlọ́sìn adìyẹ má ṣe mí kan rárá. SPFS TV òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tókó. ọ̀dà ṣó ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tókó. àǹtí ṣó ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tókó. ẹ̀yin àgbẹ̀ṣẹ́ ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tókó. mo níṣẹ́ ti gbọ́ SPFS TV tó milẹ̀ títí tó ṣàprápra tó tún lè lálejò tó táwọn yọ. SPFS TV òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ kókó. ọ̀dà ṣó ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ kókó. àǹtí ṣó ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ kókó. ẹ̀yin àgbẹ̀ṣẹ́ ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ kókó. SPFS TV lórí YouTube subscribe. ẹ̀kọ́ àgbẹ̀ tó yè kóró. ìròyìn lóríṣiríṣi nípa agriculture. SPFS TV òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tókó. ọ̀dà ṣó ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tókó. àǹtí ṣó ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tókó. ẹ̀yin àgbẹ̀ṣẹ́ ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tókó. SPFS TV lórí Facebook, SPFS TV lórí YouTube, SPFS TV lórí Instagram for your agricultural programs lóríṣiríṣi. àgbẹ̀ ọlọ́sìn ẹja oríire ti dé, ọlọ́sìn adìyẹ má ṣe mí kan rárá. SPFS TV òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tókó. ọ̀dà ṣó ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tókó. àǹtí ṣó ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tókó. ẹ̀yin àgbẹ̀ṣẹ́ ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tókó.
Yes, it's another time to talk agriculture and farming on SPFS TV, Africa's first agro TV, live from the city of Ibadan. Thank you once again for joining us on this very interesting episode of Let's Talk Agric on SPFS TV. I am Sisi Teju, and today promises to be more engaging, insightful, and interesting as we have a big fish in the house today. Trust me when I mean big fish. He's really a big one, because we're going to be talking cashew farming with Toriola Adewale Tokunbo, who is the CEO of Folawe Farm Services and Consult. He's here with us right in the studios to talk about cashew farming. What is it about cashew farming that you should know? How do you start the business? If you have started the business, how do you make it bigger? How do you become successful, doing cashew business? It's about to get interesting on today's episode, the first one in the third month of the year 2020, the month of March. Let me also use this opportunity to say Happy New Month to our viewers and listeners from everywhere you are listening from. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms, on Facebook, on YouTube, and of course on Instagram at SPFS TV. It's still Let's Talk Agric on the show today. Don't go away.
àǹtí ṣó ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tókó. ẹ̀yin àgbẹ̀ṣẹ́ ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tókó. SPFS TV lórí YouTube subscribe. ẹ̀kọ́ àgbẹ̀ tó yè kóró. ìròyìn lóríṣiríṣi nípa agriculture. SPFS TV òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tókó. ọ̀dà ṣó ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tókó. àǹtí ṣó ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tókó. ẹ̀yin àgbẹ̀ṣẹ́ ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tókó. SPFS TV lórí Facebook, SPFS TV lórí YouTube, SPFS TV lórí Instagram for your agricultural programs lóríṣiríṣi. àgbẹ̀ ọlọ́sìn ẹja oríire ti dé, ọlọ́sìn adìyẹ má ṣe mí kan rárá. SPFS TV òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. Bọ̀dá ṣó ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. Àǹtí ṣó ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. Ẹ̀yin àgbẹ̀ṣẹ́ ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. Mo níṣẹ́ ti gbọ́ SPFS TV tómilẹ̀ títí tó ṣàprápra tó tún lè lálejò tó táwọn yọ. SPFS TV òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. Bọ̀dá ṣó ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. Àǹtí ṣó ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. Ẹ̀yin àgbẹ̀ṣẹ́ ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. SPFS TV lórí YouTube subscribe. Ẹ̀kọ́ àgbẹ̀ tó yè kóró. Ìròyìn lóríṣiríṣi nípa agriculture. SPFS TV òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. Bọ̀dá ṣó ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. Àǹtí ṣó ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. Ẹ̀yin àgbẹ̀ṣẹ́ ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. SPFS TV lórí Facebook, SPFS TV lórí YouTube, SPFS TV lórí Instagram. For your agricultural programs lóríṣiríṣi. Àgbẹ̀ ọlọ́sìn ẹja oríire ti dé. Ọlọ́sìn adìyẹ má ṣe mí kan rárá. SPFS TV òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. Bọ̀dá ṣó ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. Àǹtí ṣó ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. Ẹ̀yin àgbẹ̀ṣẹ́ ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. Mo níṣẹ́ ti gbọ́ SPFS TV tómilẹ̀ títí tó ṣàprápra tó tún lè lálejò tó táwọn yọ. SPFS TV òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. Bọ̀dá ṣó ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. Àǹtí ṣó ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. Ẹ̀yin àgbẹ̀ṣẹ́ ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. SPFS TV lórí YouTube subscribe. Ẹ̀kọ́ àgbẹ̀ tó yè kóró. Ìròyìn lóríṣiríṣi nípa agriculture. SPFS TV òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. Bọ̀dá ṣó ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. Àǹtí ṣó ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. Ẹ̀yin àgbẹ̀ṣẹ́ ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. SPFS TV lórí Facebook, SPFS TV lórí YouTube, SPFS TV lórí Instagram. For your agricultural programs lóríṣiríṣi. Àgbẹ̀ ọlọ́sìn ẹja oríire ti dé. Ọlọ́sìn adìyẹ má ṣe mí kan rárá. SPFS TV òun ní ká.
All right, welcome back, people. Thank you for joining us again after that short break on SPFS TV, live from the city of Ibadan. And as I told you earlier, today we are talking cashew farming. Yes, you know, cashew is in season right now. Why is it in season right now? I'm sure some of us want to ask that question. And we have an expert in the house today, somebody who has been in the business for over 15 years. He has been, you know, trading with cashew farming, cashew seeds, talking of plantation, talking of exporting, importing. This is someone who has traded so well in the business, in person of Mr. Toriola Adewale Tokunbo, popularly known as Talks. So good to have you on the program this afternoon.
Thank you very much.
How are you doing?
I'm doing quite well.
It's a new month. We should wish our viewers happy new month.
Happy new month to everyone listening to us all over the world.
Thank you very much, sir. You know, I told you earlier that we have a big fish in the house today because he's also, apart from being a farmer, you know, he's a consultant, he's an agriculturist, what else? He's a House of Representatives aspirant. You know, there's a lot to know about Mr. Toriola Tokunbo today. But let's get into the business first. Talking of cashew farming, you know, I already introduced you saying that you have been in this business for over 15 years. When did you start with farming? Agribusiness in general. When did you start? How did you start?
Oh, thank you very much. Once again, good afternoon, viewers at home. I joined this business after my university days, though I can say I've been in the business since my secondary school. I've been going to stores, commodity stores, anytime because I'm a son of a petty trader. I used to work for my mom, but I have friends that their father is into produce. So anytime I move around, I used to see it. So I was very fortunate when I finished my university education. do I study Agric in the university. So
Funab.
I got, yes, in UNAB. Then it was UNAB.
UNAB, now Funab.
But now people are saying FUNAB. So I was so opportune to work with an international organization called Olam International. So, and Olam is into commodity. So they gave me a job as a procurement officer. As a procurement officer, what my role is to develop business for my company, and is to also market, raising licensed buyers, and at the same time organize seminars for our buyers. How the sustainability training for them, likewise,
Wow.
how our commodity can continue to be in circulation, because you don't want to just buy today and not having any crop to buy in some 5, 4, 6, 10 years time. So
right.
we have to continue to orientate them. What can incapacitate our trees, our all these crops, and as long as we are doing it, we look at their need. Likewise, how can they improve their living, home, take home every day, and how can their children also be helping their parents at home, so that all of us will not just leave farm and go to Lagos looking for a white-collar job that is not always there. So those are my responsibility while I was with the company, and I was with them for almost 9 years.
Wow.
Before I joined another company, Amajaro Nigeria, subsidiary of Ecom Agritrade London. So, and I was the national procurement manager for cashew, sesame seed, and cocoa.
Wow.
So during all these years, I have relationship with farmers, exporters, the big merchants in the industries, and all these middlemen, likewise, the brokers. So I've been in this business and I've seen a lot. So it all depends on wherever anyone wants to, ask any question that are very related. But so far so good. I can say this industry is home for all, and at the same time, it's also a commodity that I usually regard as poverty alleviation crop.
Wow.
Especially cashew. Unlike cocoa is not just for everybody, because it involves a whole lot of money, and at the same time it is not so grown very close. So the volume that we are also having is not there for all of us to trade. So it's the business of the stronger ones.
Wow.
But cashew is the business of everybody.
Wow.
And that is why I know the program of today, I will have more opportunity to be able to talk to our government and our big men in the industry to be able to help this commodity to be able to improve the income of every buyer, everyone especially. So because when I say it's poverty alleviation, this is a trade that even a woman, a fashion designer can always have a scale by
As
the
a
side
business.
and he will also be doing his fashion designing, and somebody
Wow.
can walk in and he will scale it for them, pay them small amount of
They
money.
have their cool cash.
So if you have the opportunity of going to a place like Ogbomosho, Kogi, Nayingba, Ankpa, Ida, during this period, Oboloa for Enugu, during this period, come to Ilorin, come to Ibarapa there, Igbora, Idere, Ayete, Tapa, Gongon. You will see all of our women, they are engaged during this period. And you also see majority of the Okada riders, you will not be able to even get Okada rider to your next park, because now they are all engaged in the trade.
Wow.
If they are not going to farm to go and carry, any one woman or one man, they will be in that place carrying their own commodity back home. So it engages everybody, a lot of people during this period of time, and that is why it's a business that anybody can just put your money and you'll be rest assured that your money is going to come back. Likewise, when you also look at farming of cashew is an hardy crop. Why do I say it's hardy? It's hardy because it can survive in even where you are looking at it as if that place is not good for any crop.
You're talking of soil now.
Yeah, the soil, the weather, many other things that you can think of. But cashew will survive. You just be surprised that cashew would do well where you thought it cannot even do, it cannot thrive. So that is why, and in just 3 years, you begin to harvest, from your cashew. No matter how the level of investment that you might have done, you'll be recouping your money as from 3 years. So that is why I say it's a type of business that anybody can just come, and if you have patience, unlike cocoa will take you almost about 7-8 years before you can be getting something, and it involves a lot of
effort.
chemical, herbicide spraying. Cashew doesn't even need those ones. Just make sure you clear your farms and make sure fire doesn't enter into your plantation, and you are very good to
Interesting. Thank you so much, sir, for that beautiful overview of what cashew farming is all about. Some of you might be wondering why our guest is trying to compare cashew farming to cocoa farming. This is because he is into the two. He's into cocoa farming, he's into cashew farming. Although today our focus is on cashew farming. All right, we are still talking with Mr. Toriola Tokunbo, popularly called Talks, and he is speaking on cashew farming. He's the CEO and the consultant, the principal consultant of Folawale Farms Limited. And still on the topic, I'm particularly curious about this season. You know, mango is in season, what our people call agbalumbo is in season, cherry. And now I find out that there is cashew in season. Is there a kind of relationship between those three fruits? Why is it in season right now? Is it the year? What is responsible for that?
Yes. Thank you, the moderator. You see, during this period, nature is so kind to all of us.
Wow.
Why do I need to say that? When you look at all these our crops, they are nomadic in nature, and God has designed it in that order, that by the time, let me just start from cocoa, for instance. Cocoa main crop will start from October, and it will last you into February.
Wow.
As February is drawing to a close, then we'll be having cashew coming on board.
Wow.
Cashew will start any moment from January ending, and that means nature has decided that by the time you are wrapping up with this, you'll be entering into this one. Then during the process, during the time that our cashew is in season, the mango is also starting. So when you don't look at the weather is at this period of the year, we call it dry season. Dry season because we have less rainfall, and at the same time, that's when we have harmattan.
Exactly.
Harmattan helps cashew a lot. It likewise helps mango. So, and especially the level of humidity that will be having in the space as at that time, that's what they need at the tip of their trees. They need those moist and those mist that will just be dropping, and the food they are storing at the tip edge of that their branches will be converted into fruits. So these are the fruits that we are having and that we are harvesting and convert into money. So it is the blessings of nature, and it is a response to the weather situation that we are having, in this part of the world. It will interest you likewise that now in West Africa we'll be having cashew, and in the next couple of weeks, let me say in the next 3 weeks, Vietnam will also be having their harvest coming. After Vietnam, any moment from May, we'll be having Guinea-Bissau coming on board. After that one, we'll be having Tanzania.
Wow.
So the last country that will be having it is Singapore. Singapore will be having it around August, July, August, September. So when you look at it, you see that as the world revolves around the polar axis, that's when the weather will be changing, and our commodities also respond to change in weather. So nature is so good to us, and it has designed it that way.
Interesting. I hope you are following us this afternoon on SPFS TV. Let's Talk Agric, on which we are still speaking to the subject of cashew farming. Of course, you realize that Mr. Toriola has been able to mention some of the countries producing cashew, apart from Nigeria. Of course, Nigeria is one of the biggest or largest producers of cashew, globally, followed by, I think, India. Is it India? Vietnam, as you have mentioned, Tanzania, and he has mentioned that nature is so good to us. God is so good to us this time. That is why we have cashew. Okay, let's get down to, the farm. Now we are in the farm. Let's talk about how do you start the farming, the basics of cashew farming? Do you have a seed? What do you put into the soil? Do you have ridges? You know, what your right people call ebe? You know, how do you even start it? I don't know anything about cashew farming. Now you want to teach me about cashew farming. How do I even start?
Thank you very much. Like any other commodity, like any other crop, the first thing in cashew farming is the choice of your land. And that is why we call it the land preparation. You start from land preparation. What type of land can we grow our cashew? So majorly, when you look at it, cashew will do well in a loamy, sandy soil.
Loamy sandy soil.
Why do we say sandy and we also put loamy? Majority of us will know that loamy soil is rich in humus, is more fertile land.
Right.
But when we now say sandy, that means it will be able to drain water effectively. The water will move, freely, so that the crop with the root system will be able to get enough for their growth. So that is the type of land that cashew is really needed. And two, cashew need a less alkaline soil. When you look at the pH level of the type of soil that we can grow our cashew, will be the pH, slightly above 8, 8 in the rank. Because when we say acidic is when it's lower to 7, because 7 is the neutral point in the pH grade. Absolutely. Of the type of a soil that we are looking at for cashew. So cashew need an alkaline soil that is not so acidic, so that the root system will not choke away. So that is land preparation. Having chose your land, the next thing that you need to look out for is now how you prepare the land. Land preparation. Preparation in the sense that if it's an open virgin land, that means we need an excavator, or you need what we call a bulldozer.
Okay.
And that bulldozer will just be we have some experienced people that knows how we can use the bulldozer to the extent that we will not lose all the micro faunas on the soil, so that all the dry matters on the topsoil will not be lost into excavation. So they will be carefully remove all those trees and shrubs, then pack them at the side edge of the farmland. Then, having done that, for some of us, plowing is important. They will plow the land, then they will harrow it to make it more loose very well. So having done that, then it's also good. We have what we call pegging. You can also do pegging for your farmland.
What is pegging? Pegging
is when we now choose, we arrange the lining of our crop according to a particular distance. So in that particular respect, we are talking about the planting distance. Okay. So the planting distances depend on how you are going to do your pegging. For experienced person, if I say 10 meter by 10 meter, I know what I want to do. But for somebody like you that is not into Agric before, you want it to be done well and well perfect. So pegging is important. We have to peg it according to that distance. 8 meter, we have different ways by which you can arrange our crop. If you have it by 10 by 10, that means 10 meter by 10 meter, so we'll be having like 100 crops, per hectare. That's 100 stands of cashew per hectare. But if you have it 10 meter by 5 meter, you might have it like 150 stands of cashew in 1 hectare of land.
Wow.
Then at the same time, you can also have it 8 meter by 8 meter. So if it's 8 meter by 8 meter, you'll be having like I think around 124 stands on your. Why do you need to choose this particular planting distance? The reason is it will take you 3 years before your crop begin to, the gestation period is around 3 years. So within that 3 years, will you just be, doing farm clearing on just the seedling? No, so that you'll be able to intercrop with some other commodity, with other crops. And that means your level of investment on that farm will be coming back gradually. If you have it 10 by 10, you have more area to be able to plant something like yams and carefully choose your seed. So in Nigeria today, we believe that the most premium cashew we have in Nigeria is Ogbomoso cashew.
Okay.
How do they characterize Ogbomoso? Ogbomoso cashew has some some characteristics that are very, very good for the processor. Majority of our cashew in Nigeria is being exported, into India and Vietnam. So, and in that particular place, processor will look for a type of nut that will reduce the cost of their production. And they are using hybrid process. Machine will do some part, and they will use, women will also be engaged to peel this kernel until they become very white manually. So Ogbomoso cashew gives them is more easy for them to peel. So we call it peelability, a better peelability. So for that they pay premium because they spend less to get those kernel ready. So, but while other ones, and again, in Ogbomoso, we believe they have plantation crop. Plantation because they are intentionally planted. They are deliberately planted. Just like the one I told you, you have your planting distance, you peg it, everything is okay. So anybody can come into that place, they will trace it directly. This is directly from this particular farm. So that is why they believe it's a plantation crop. So they pay premium for those ones. So as many of us that have a cashew like that too, you'll be having premium. Other crops in Nigeria, we have other ones. Other crops or kogi or any other ones, they are regarded as wide crops. Wide because during the time they were first planted in the east, for instance, they were planted deliberately as an erosion controlled plant. So they are not deliberately planted, in a demarcated area. So you cannot just trace and track it that this one is the owner of this place. So that is why they regard them as others. So, and that is why they are not attracting more premium, more price like Ogbomoso cashew. So, I've told you about the seed. The seed or the nuts of the Ogbomoso has a particular characteristic. The nut count is usually between 165 and 185 nut count. That is when you choose a 1 kilogram of that particular nut and you count each seed that make up of that 1 kg, it will be between 165 nuts to 185. That's Ogbomoso for you. While other ones can be as high as 200 nuts to make 1 kg of that particular grammage. And in terms of kernel outturn ratio, Ogbomoso also does better than every other with the crop that comes from all other locations in Nigeria. So that is that about the type of seed that you are going to choose. Then you have done the planting. Some prefer seedling, going to all these our farm research institute to go and buy seedlings, just like Cocoa Research Institute of Nigeria. They have done some researches on this Brazilian jumbo with some Chinese breeds, and they've been able to come with some better breed for us in Nigeria. And those ones can also, their gestation period is lesser to 3 years. So if you can get there, you get it. So a seedling is always between 150 naira and 500 naira respectively. It all depends. So those ones accumulating to the number of your funds, the amount of money that will be involved. Then after all this, when your crop has been established, the next thing is to do weeding or just normal cultivation, the cultural practices.
You don't need to dig a pit or something.
It's not just. If you are planting seedling, you will dig a hole to plant your seedling. But if you are planting seeds, according to that distance that I've told you, you just plant your seed once enough water. And during the planting time is usually between July, August. Because at that time you still have more rainfall that will be coming, and it will not be so much to the extent that it can destroy or cause the damage to the crop. So that's why that is that about that. We have talked about the planting, and we have talking about the cultural practices that is necessary, and afterwards You just watch your cashew growing.
Wow.
Just move there, be smiling at it. Then after 2 to 3 years, you'll be seeing fruits coming.
Interesting.
And then you'll be happy about that.
All right, people, thank you once again for, staying tuned to that very, very explanatory comment from our guests as regards the plantation, the cultivation of the seed or seedling of cashew. Still talking about cashew farming on the show today. Let's Talk Agric. We'll go for the short break. After the short break, we'll come back to talk about the fruits, especially. I am very curious about why some cashew come out in yellow color, some come out in pink, some have different colors. Why do we have those different colors? Let's talk about the fruits after the short break. Don't go away, but remember to drop your comments on our Facebook page, Instagram, and on YouTube. Let's Talk Agric. Don't go away.
SPFS TV tómilẹ̀ títí tó ṣàprápra tó tún lè lálejò tó táwọn yọ. SPFS TV òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. Ọ̀dà ṣóò ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. Àǹtí ṣóò ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. Ẹ̀yin àpẹ̀ṣẹ́ ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. SPFS TV lórí YouTube subscribe. Ẹ̀kọ́ àgbẹ̀ tó yè kóró. Ìròyìn lóríṣiríṣi nípa agriculture. SPFS TV òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. Ọ̀dà ṣóò ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. Àǹtí ṣóò ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. Ẹ̀yin àpẹ̀ṣẹ́ ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. SPFS TV lórí Facebook, SPFS TV lórí YouTube, SPFS TV lórí Instagram. For your agricultural programs lóríṣiríṣi. Àgbẹ̀ ọlọ́sìn ẹja oríire ti dé. Ọlọ́sìn adìyẹ má ṣe mí kan rárá. SPFS TV. Tó tún lè lálejò tó táwọn yọ. SPFS TV òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. Ọ̀dà ṣóò ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. Àǹtí ṣóò ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. Ẹ̀yin àpẹ̀ṣẹ́ ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. SPFS TV lórí YouTube subscribe. Ẹ̀kọ́ àgbẹ̀ tó yè kóró. Ìròyìn lóríṣiríṣi nípa agriculture. SPFS TV òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. Ọ̀dà ṣóò ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. Àǹtí ṣóò ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. Ẹ̀yin àpẹ̀ṣẹ́ ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. SPFS TV lórí Facebook, SPFS TV lórí YouTube, SPFS TV lórí Instagram. For your agricultural programs lóríṣiríṣi. Àgbẹ̀ ọlọ́sìn ẹja oríire ti dé. Ọlọ́sìn adìyẹ má ṣe mí kan rárá. SPFS TV òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. Ọ̀dà ṣóò ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. Àǹtí ṣóò ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. Ẹ̀yin àpẹ̀ṣẹ́ ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. Mo níṣẹ́ ti gbọ́ SPFS TV tómilẹ̀ títí tó ṣàprápra tó tún lè lálejò tó táwọn yọ. SPFS TV òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. Ọ̀dà ṣóò ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. Àǹtí ṣóò ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. Ẹ̀yin àpẹ̀ṣẹ́ ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. SPFS TV lórí YouTube subscribe. Ẹ̀kọ́ àgbẹ̀ tó yè kóró. Ìròyìn lóríṣiríṣi nípa agriculture. SPFS TV òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. Ọ̀dà ṣóò ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. Àǹtí ṣóò ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. Ẹ̀yin àpẹ̀ṣẹ́.
Yes, welcome back from that very short break. It's still SPFS TV. Let's Talk Agric is the show where we are still doing justice to the topic for today. Today, 2nd of March 2022, we are still talking about cashew farming with Mr. Toriola Adewale Tokumbo, the CEO and Principal Consultant at Folawale Farms Limited. Yes, we'll be having a very interesting conversation today, trust me. In case you have been looking forward to, having answers to why, some cashew come out as yellow, some come out as pink. Trust me, we are on the same page because I also have that question this afternoon rather. Why do we have some people taste better? What is responsible for this? Because my dad loves cashew a lot, and I found out that sometimes when I try to eat with him, having cashew with him, I noticed that maybe the yellow ones are kind of sweeter. What is responsible for this?
My presenter, thank you very much for that question, and your curiosity is very, very interesting one.
Thank you.
Let me tell you this: the color of the pulp, when you take a cashew fruit, your cashew fruit consists of two important, let me just say 4 important parts.
Okay.
The first one is the pulp. The pulp is where we have the juice, so that when you press it, you can get what we call cashew juice.
Okay.
So that is the pulp. Then, after extracting your liquid, the remaining pulp that you have can be dried and be used for feeding of our animals.
Okay.
So a lot of research has gone on that, how we can include it, the rate of inclusion that can be added into the feed for broilers and for piggery, our pigs.
Okay.
So in our agricultural system, you see, there's nothing that is waste in cashew.
Wow.
So I've talked about that pulp, right? After the pulp, we have the nut. The nut is the one that the tip of that particular pulp.
More like where the other one is standing on.
Yes, thank you very much. That is the nut. The nut, when broken, we have the shell and the kernel. So in the world of cashew today, majority of people going into business of cashew are purposely going into it because of the cashew kernel. This is the kernel that have a whole lot of value.
Wow.
And this is the kernel that has a whole lot of market in Europe and America.
Interesting.
So, and I want to tell you the rate, the prices that you can generate for your kernel has been the way you can add value into this particular kernel, because some can sell their own kernel as white kernel, the plain one. They can be spiced, pepperish kernel. It can be pepperish, it can be salted, it can be but the first thing that you're going to have from the shell, when broken, is the kernel. So what people now do to that kernel, what is the level of the attraction of the value that you are going to have. So the shell again can also be processed, though they extract oil again from the shell. So we have the cashew shell oil.
Okay.
So, and it's of great value in many as adhesive. They are using it as additives. For instance, the hydraulic, they are using it in hydraulic system of our cars, running of our cars. Those things that you put in your braking system, in your other system, they extract this liquid from the cashew cashew shell, from cashew shell as the oil. So, and it's of great value. So when you look at cashew generally, you see it's an economic tree that none out of the part is wasted. So now, interestingly about the color that you are talking about.
Thank you.
Color, I can say, it has to do with the breed. The breed and the species of the cashew that you plant.
Wow.
So, and at the same time, it has also to do with the weather. So in some weather, you might have your cashew as being purple, but the one that is so common in our area is the yellowish pulp cashew. So be free to take any
of them.
In the area of the sweetness, some people believe if cashew is planted, if the seedling of cashew is planted, it will become more sweeter than planting it, than planting the nut, not as seed. While we are talking about the planting the other time, we talk about you might plant seedling or you might plant the seed.
Okay.
So the seedling is the one that has already been germinated in a particular pot, and you transplant this one directly into your farming area. So while the seed is the one you just plant directly. So there's some beliefs and some research which I cannot just quote for now, but I've come across them, in my course of research and in my course of sojourn in this field, that they believe that while they are transplanted as from seedling, it's always more sweeter than if we plant it according to the seed. But the only reason I can have for that is over the years, some curious observers like you will have seen that this one is sweet, and they want to continue to preserve the sweet one. Taking it to the lab, they will extract what is that particular thing in this one that makes it sweeter. That particular gene can be taken. Genetic engineers, the plant breeders must have worked on those one. Maybe that is why, and they can't plant this one directly. They will be selling them in seedlings. So that can be responsible for the ones that are more sweeter than the other. Wow. Thank you very much.
Interesting one there. Still talking of cashew farming, and of course, what are the things responsible for the colors? Maybe the pigment, that comes out of the pulp of some of these cashew fruits. Tabate tu impact cashew nuts. Tabate and travel. Amarita or command kiri. What cashew nuts. That's one of the ways to I think package. Apart from the pulp, a cashew nut here, at home package. Boy, so seedling. Shenu nuts no go less of one. A biba or no shin get seedling cashew to be a wara late on boa.
Fún àǹfààní àwọn tí ò gbọ́ àfọ́rọ̀fọ́tò tí à ń sọ látàárọ̀. Nǹkan tá à ń sọ náà ni a ti sọ̀rọ̀ lórí cashew. Báwo la ṣe lè gbin cashew? Then lára cashew, kí ni àwọn nǹkan tó ṣe pàtàkì lára cashew? Ṣé pé mo sọ fún wa náà pé àti gbin cashew ò le. Tá bá ti rí ilẹ̀ tí a sì nílò fún cashew kò ń ṣe ilẹ̀ yanrìn nìkan. Ṣùgbọ́n cashew lè hù ní níbikíbi ló ti lè hù. So tá bá ti ní ilẹ̀ tó dáa tí a dẹ̀ ti pèsè ẹ̀ sílẹ̀ nípa pé a ti fi ọkọ̀ pa, tí a dẹ̀ ti pò, wọ́n ti yọ gbòǹgbò tí ò ní jẹ́ kí kinní yẹn hù dáadáa. Then tí òjò bá ti rọ̀, tílẹ̀ yẹn ti fa omi mu dáadáa. So a lè gbin cashew wa. A lè gbin hóró cashew, kóró cashew. A sì lè gbin cashew tí wọ́n ti bà tó ti yè nínú àpò. So ìyẹn ni à ń pè ní seedling. Èyí tó jẹ́ kóró tá a gbìn direct seed nìyẹn. So nítorí pé a lè gbin méjèèjì, ṣùgbọ́n mo sọ fún yín lẹ́ẹ̀kan pé tá a bá mú cashew lọ́wọ́ báyìí, cashew pín sí ẹ̀yà bíi 3 sí 4. Àkọ́kọ́ ń bẹ̀ ni mo sọ fún yín pé èyí cashew yìí tá à ń mu òun náà ń pè ní pulp, tí orí ẹ̀ yẹn tá à ń pè ní kóró yẹn ni nut. A pè ní nut nítorí wípé a bá pa bí ẹ̀pà lóríṣiríṣi àwọn pé groundnut ẹ̀pà là ń pè yẹn, pé wọ́n fi nut sí lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́. So àtúní àwọn kan tá ń pè ní hazelnut, àwọn yẹn ò kọ́ mọ̀ bí ilẹ̀ òkè ọya lọ́hùn ni àwọn yẹn wà. So tá a bá ti pa nut yẹn, a máa bá ẹ̀pà nínú ẹ̀. So ẹ̀pà nínú ẹ̀ yẹn, òun ló tún jẹ́ ohun tí ó mú owó wá tó pọ̀ jù lágbàáyé lónìí, nítorí ohun tí àrà tí àwọn tó ní ilé iṣẹ́ ńlá tí wọ́n fi dá. Àwọn míì tí a bá ti pa ẹ̀pà yẹn tán, tí wọ́n bá ti rí ẹ̀pà yẹn, wọ́n á fi iyọ̀ sí, wọ́n á tà. Àwọn míì white plain bẹ́ẹ̀ náà máa tà. Àwọn míì wọ́n máa spice ẹ̀, wọ́n á fi iyọ̀ sí, wọ́n á fi ata sí, pepperish, wọ́n á tà bẹ́ẹ̀. Àwọn míì wọ́n tún máa fi sínú oyin, wọ́n á tà bẹ́ẹ̀. So iye value tá a bá fi sọ nut kernel yẹn dà, tinú yẹn là ń pè ní kernel. White tó máa wà nínú yẹn, ọmọ ẹ̀pà nínú yẹn là ń pè ní kernel. So mo dẹ̀ sọ fún pé gbogbo àwọn ará òkè òkun tó ń wá sílùú wa wá ra kóró cashew yìí lọ́dọọdún, ohun tí wọ́n ń torí ẹ̀ ṣe wàhálà fún nìyẹn. Ìjọba wa níbí báyìí à ń gba rọ̀ wọ́n kí wọ́n bá wa mójútó àdúgbò yìí, nítorí àtàwọn olówó wa, àwọn tí oríṣẹ́gi ọ̀là fún láwùjọ, àwọn olóṣèlú wa. Èmi rò wípé ní apá ní orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà yìí, mo lè sọ fún yín pé state ìpínlẹ̀ 26 ni a ti ń gbin cashew. Tí cashew ti ń hù.
Cashew dẹ̀ yé ń bẹ̀.
Cashew yè, tí wọ́n bá gbìn ó ń yè. Gbogbo wọn Niger state wọ́n gbin cashew ó ń yè, wọ́n wà nínú ẹgbẹ́. Imo state àwọn náà wà ń bẹ̀. Abia state ó ń hù ń bẹ̀. Kò sí
Ọ̀yọ́ state ti wá gan-an.
Àwa lọ̀gá. Cashew ti wá ní ọ̀gá ní gbogbo àgbáyé because cashew Ògbómọ̀ṣọ́ ni wọ́n ka cashew àdúgbò wa sí ó sì dáa ju ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ti Kogi lọ ní gbogbo Nàìjíríà dó ibi tó pọ̀ sí jù Kogi ló ní cashew tó pọ̀ jù lẹ́yìn Kogi Kwara lẹ́yìn Kwara Ọ̀yọ́ lẹ́yìn Ọ̀yọ́ láṣẹ máa mú àwọn ìyókù tí ó ṣùgbọ́n ibi tí cashew ẹ̀ dáa jù cashew ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ wa yìí ló dáa jù so mo rọ irú ìjọba wa kán wò ó kó má jẹ́ pé torí bí wọ́n ṣe ń kó kóró cashew kúrò nílùú wa yìí iṣẹ́ ni wọ́n ń kó lọ kúrò nílùú wa lónìí yìí tá a bá lọ sí orílẹ̀-èdè tá à ń pè ní Vietnam ni the largest importer of cashew in the world nítorí wípé àwọn dìídì lọ build industry láti máa process cashew ni gbogbo cashew tí wọ́n sì ń gbìn kò tó ohun tí industry wọ́n máa process so wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ wá ara cashew lọ́dọ̀ wa orílẹ̀-èdè tó yẹ kí a máa àfarawé wọn bí orílẹ̀-èdè bíi Côte d'Ivoire ní ìwọ̀ oòrùn Áfíríkà yìí àwọn ló gbé cashew tó pọ̀ jù ló ní cashew tó pọ̀ jù ṣùgbọ́n jẹ́ ń sọ fún yín pé gbogbo ilẹ̀ Côte d'Ivoire ò mà tó pínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ Côte d'Ivoire then produce almost 2 million metric tons of cashew lọ́dún so àwa sì ní Nàìjíríà lónìí àpapọ̀ bá a ṣe jẹ́ pé ilẹ̀ wa pọ̀ tó àti máa ju 290,000 metric tons lọ sí 300 kò tí ì jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ lọ́dún ẹ wá wo iye owó tí Côte d'Ivoire ń rí lórí cashew wọn tó bá jẹ́ $10 ni wọ́n ń rí forílẹ̀-èdè wọn $10 times 2 million ṣe mọ̀ èyí tó máa jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ àwa ṣetán àní ìjọba ò lówó ìjọba ò ṣe lówó torí ohun tó yẹ ká mójútó kíjọba mójútó wọn ò mójútó o èyí tí ò yẹ ká mójútó là ń mójútó nítorí ìdí èyí èmi ó gba ìjọba wa nímọ̀ràn pé káwọn náà ó wo ohun tí wọn ó ṣe tẹ́ bá lọ wo Èrúwà ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ tí àwọn bàbá wa àwọn Awólọ́wọ̀ gbogbo wọn ti ṣe láyé ìgbà yẹn Michael Para tí wọ́n ti ṣe wọ́n ti gbin àwọn cashew plantation yẹn àwọn ìjọba tó dé wọn tọ́jú oko wọn yẹn wọn tiẹ̀ yà sí kíjọba Ajímọ̀bí tó kágbá kúrò lé wọ́n gba àwọn owó kan níjọba àgbáyé láti lè fi tún àwọn oko wa ṣe ìjọba tó débẹ̀ yìí gbà so kí ni ibo làwọn owó yẹn wà lónìí ní Àkúfọ̀ farm settlement ní Èrúwà farm settlement kí náà fọ owó yẹn ṣe àwọn ilẹ̀ yìí ló sì gba cashew Ìbàràpá gbé cashew tó pọ̀ jù tí a bá lè tọ́jú àgbègbè yìí a rí i pé àwọn tó ń wá láti bẹ̀ wọ́n máa ríṣẹ́ ṣe tá a bá wá fi ilé iṣẹ́ ní ìgbà tí mínísítà tó kọjá lọ níjọba àkọ́kọ́ president Muhammadu Buhari Ṣifáúdù Ògbì ó ní gbogbo ibi tí wọ́n ti ń produce guinea kádálé iṣẹ́ 6 lẹ̀ ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ wọ́n náà fẹ́ fi méjì sí ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ wọ́n fẹ́ fi méjì sí Kogi kí wọ́n fi kan sí Kwara àti state míì so tí wọ́n bá fi cashew ilé iṣẹ́ méjì kíkan wà nírú Ògbómọ̀ṣọ́ kíkan wà nírú Ìbàdàn yìí ẹ rí i pé gbogbo cashew tá à ń produce yìí tí wọ́n bá ń process ẹ̀ ń bẹ̀ àwọn ọ̀dọ́ wa tí ò ríṣẹ́ ṣe ó máa ríṣẹ́ ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ ni àwọn obìnrin wa tí wọ́n ò ríbi lọ wọ́n máa ríbi lọ ẹni tí ó lọ rà iṣẹ́ ni ọkọ̀ tí wọ́n fi kó iṣẹ́ ni ẹni tí ó rù iṣẹ́ ni àwọn tí ń ta àpò tá a fi ń kó iṣẹ́ ni so tẹ bá rí gbogbo ẹ̀ gbogbo èèyàn ó bá máa rí nǹkan mú lọlé ìdí nìyí tí ó fi jẹ́ pé àwọn èèyàn máa ń rò pé mo jẹ́ cashew advocate mo so láìkí crop yìí tó pọ̀ jù nítorí pé mo rí bí ọ̀nà tá a fi lè mú kí ìṣẹ́ ó tán ní orílẹ̀-èdè wa àti ní irú ìpínlẹ̀ tí a wà yìí nítorí náà èmi máa rọ àwọn tí ó wà ní ibi òfin àti ibi àṣẹ wípé kí wọ́n wá nǹkan ṣe lórí ọ̀rọ̀ ti cashew yìí kọ́ má jẹ́ kí àwọn tòun rìn wáyìí wọ́n kàn máa kó kínní lọ lásán èló sì ni wọ́n san fún ìjọba mélòó ni ìjọba rí ìjọba náà ò tún mójútó torí wọ́n rò pé òṣòwò ń bẹ mo máa ń sọ nǹkan kan fún wọn ní irú ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ tó bá jẹ́ 50,000 metric tons lóòótọ́ la produce lọ́dún à ń grade cashew ní 2,000 fún ìjọba ẹ wá mú 2,000 times 50,000 ẹ jẹ́ ká calculate èló ló jẹ́ they are going to over millions ló yẹ kí ìjọba ó rí níbi ẹ̀yìn nìkan lórí grading ó yẹ ẹ jẹ́ ká wò ó tó bá jẹ́ wọ́n wá process ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ mọ́ double money tí wọ́n bá tún rí so ìjọba ò rí tó bẹ́yẹn torí pé wọ́n take no wọ́n tiẹ̀ attention wọn tiẹ̀ sí ń bẹ̀ àfi bíi pé àṣekínní flag off tá a ṣe lọ́dún yìí ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ la ti ṣe àdúpẹ́ pé commissioner rán èèyàn wá ṣùgbọ́n ìhà tí wọ́n kọ sí kò dá tó lójú tèmi.
Ó dà ẹ jẹ́ kí a tún máa wò báyìí ẹ rí i pé àlejò wa wọ́n mọ̀ dáadáa nípa iṣẹ́ ọ̀gbìn cashew ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà àti káàkiri gbogbo àgbáńlá ayé ẹ rí i pé wọ́n mọ̀ nípa ẹ̀ ní iṣẹ́ wọn ní ó sì wù wọ́n ṣe ó sì pé wọn ẹ ti rí lára wọn ẹ ti rí láwọ̀ wọn a tún ti sọ̀rọ̀ nípa processing díẹ̀ a ti sọ̀rọ̀ nípa package ẹ ti sọ̀rọ̀ nípa àwọn opportunities tó wà nù cashew farming kò tún yẹ ká tún máa padà sẹ́yìn lórí ìyẹn but I just want us to talk briefly on before we start wrapping it up for today nípa packaging and preservation of cashew fruits. When we look at, bringing more value, how do we make cashew yield more value? Especially for the farmer, the agripreneur that is into cashew farming. How does he have more money in this business in terms of marketing, packaging, harvesting, processing? Just briefly, can you give us an overview of that?
Thank you very much for that. Last year, Nigeria Exporting Promotion Council, they organized a training on the cashew pulp and fruit juice production.
Okay.
It was held in Oyo State here, but my own reservation about the production of cashew fruit, cashew juice is this: one will go for another. You cannot go into production of juice by not jeopardizing your kernel.
Okay.
Because you will need the fruit that is just ripening. And that is what you can just extract. You just harvest them, take them into your processing factory, extract the juice, and at the same time preserve them well, then getting money. That is one. Bottle them in whichever way you want to do it. But the kernel will not have the good quality that we expect because the nut will not have reached the right maturation before they are extracted and harvested. So that is why I said one will go for the other. So one has to go for the other. But our production has not increased to that extent. So to me, we are not having the wastage. But it's in the process where you have waste that you can look at area where we can convert all the pulp to the juice there, and we can extract them and convert them to money. Really the tank when you Côte d'Ivoire yẹn, àwọn la lè sọ when we are a country is producing 2 million, they can afford to sacrifice 25% of that, then use that one to extract the juice in it. Why they concentrate on the kernel? Because the kernel production will also fetch them more money than the juice. So that is why I say, but for now, even if we want to have more value for our money, our post-harvest handling is very much germane, very much important. Ní ìlú yìí, ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ni ó ń ṣe ohun tó yẹ ká ṣe. Tá a bá ti cashew lóko tí èyí tá a bá ṣàlẹ̀ tó bá ti rẹ̀, because a máa ń gbà àwọn èèyàn wa encourage wọn kó wọ́n jẹ́ cashew kó rẹ̀. So tí wọ́n bá ṣe lè yọ cashew yẹn yàtọ̀, you first of all pull it inside, then you twist. That is the right way to extract your nut from the oil, from the pulp. So lẹ́yìn yẹn àṣà ibi tí afẹ́fẹ́ á lè fẹ́ sí, tí afẹ́fẹ́ bá ti fẹ́ sí dáadáa, lẹ́yìn náà àṣẹ wàá sa nùrùn tí ó di bí 8 to 9%. Ìyára lè báàgẹ̀ tí òfin ní bàjẹ́ mọ́. Àdẹ gbọ́dọ̀ kó sínú polythene, inú àpò la lè kó sí. Bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn cashew lè wà ń bẹ̀ fún dídí ọdún kan tí nǹkan kò sì ní ṣe. Kọ́lọ̀ ó tún wà ń bẹ̀ tí ó wà òkè. Ṣùgbọ́n tá a bá kó sínú polythene ká tó kó délé yóò ti sun omi yẹn máa padà sára ẹ̀. Tó bá ti ń padà sára ẹ̀ yẹn á jẹ́ kí àwọn kòkòrò kan tó ń pè ní mold. It will encourage the growth of mold that will cause defect and some spots into that particular kernel and can spoil it. So thank you very much for that.
All right, thank you so much, sir, for that quick overview concerning the packaging, harvesting, and processing of cashew fruit. It's about time that we'll start wrapping up on the show this afternoon. But I just want you to touch the aspects of some of the challenges of cashew farming. Ó yẹ ká sọ ṣé àwọn ìpèníjà tí ẹ wà nídìí iṣẹ́ pé à ń ṣe ọ̀gbìn cashew nílẹ̀ wa lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà lágbàáyé. What are some of those popular challenges? Ẹ ti sọ̀rọ̀ nípa pest bíi mold. Àwọn míì wo ló tún wà tó jẹ́ ìpèníjà pé à ń gbin cashew?
Ìpèníjà àkọ́kọ́ náà ni wípé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn èèyàn wà lọ ọ̀nà tó jì ṣe mọ̀ pé tá bá dáko cashew nílẹ̀ a nílò ilẹ̀ tó pọ̀. So a gbọ́dọ̀ rìn síwájú ká tó lè rí ilẹ̀ tó pọ̀ dáadáa. So kò ṣe pé bóyá ilẹ̀ ò sí ilẹ̀ pọ̀ o ṣùgbọ́n irinṣẹ́ wo ni wọ́n fi tọ́jú ilẹ̀ yẹn òun ni òṣò wà ní ìlú wa yìí tí ìgbà tí àwa tá a bá fẹ́ dáko tá a bá ń wá labourer tí ó bá wa ṣiṣẹ́ ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ni ò fẹ́ ṣiṣẹ́ labourer mọ́ so the first challenge then again òun ni wípé lásìkò tí a bá tún fẹ́ gbìnrè seed kò wà available dáadáa àwọn the right type of seed so àtọwọ́dọ́wọ́ yẹn náà là ń gbìn tó bá dé crane mélòó ló fẹ́ rí ń bẹ̀ tí ó tó gbin irú ilẹ̀ tí ó tó gbó Ìbàdàn sáré oko tí ó tó gbó Ìbàdàn yìí so tí ò bá jẹ́ pé àwọn ìjọba bá fi owó sí inú kínní àti àwọn tó ti oríṣẹ́ gíọ́là fún kán kówó sí research tábìlì kò sí ohun tó burú tí a bá ní cashew tó jẹ́ pé ní oṣù láàrin ọdún kan sáọdún méjì ó bá ń jáde iṣẹ́ náà ní so káwọn èèyàn wá kówó síbẹ̀ so àwọn ìpèníjà tó tún wà bẹ́ẹ̀ ni pé tí cashew bá ń jáde àwọn olè wọn èdè agbádùn àwọn tí ò dáko wọn fẹ́ jẹ ní oko tí wọn ò dá ẹ máa gbọ́ pé wọ́n máa ń pa àwọn èèyàn ní oko wọ́n máa ń ṣe so it's another theft so bí cashew bá tún wá wọ́n ọ̀ràn dé ẹ wò lọ́dún yìí báyìí jute bag lógún ìyẹn ibi tá a fi ń kó cashew sí yẹn tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀ à ń ra àpò ní 350 naira lọ́dún yìí 1600 àpò títún so àpò tí ò bá da 1100 ṣé mọ̀ pé challenge nítorí pé wọ́n ṣàpò Nàìjíríà orílẹ̀-èdè lọ́hùn ni wọ́n ti ń kó àpò wá àwọn àpò tí ò da tán tún kó wọlé láti Ghana ó tún wọ́n bí ojú so kí ìjọba bá wo àdúgbò yẹn so àwọn nǹkan yẹn náà ẹ rí i pé ìpèníjà náà jẹ́ fún iṣẹ́ wa then owó ìpèníjà ni processing factory tán lè máa process nílùú wa ìpèníjà ni nítorí ìdí èyí a gbọ́dọ̀ a rí i pé àwọn ìpèníjà yìí oríṣiríṣi òun ló wà tíjọba bá fowó lẹ̀ fún iṣẹ́ ọ̀gbìn yìí tí wọ́n bá jẹ́ pé ok fún iṣẹ́ ọ̀gbìn cashew kán ya owó kan sọ́tọ̀ èpè fún àwọn tó fẹ́ ṣiṣẹ́ ọ̀gbìn cashew ẹ lọ rírú owó yìí gbà tẹ́ bá ti gba irú owó yìí àti mọ̀ pé ọdún mẹ́ta cashew tó máa jáde lẹ́yìn ọdún 5 ẹ bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní dáwọ́ yìí padà tí wọ́n bá ṣe structuralize ẹ̀ fún wa bẹ́ẹ̀ ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ni ó wà sínú iṣẹ́ yìí náà.
That's true.
So lójú tèmi tí owó ó wà nú ẹ̀ kí Ọlọ́run ràn wá lọ́wọ́.
Ẹ ṣé gan ni àlejò wa. Thank you very much for that explanation on some of the challenges facing cashew farming in Nigeria. Àwọn ìpèníjà tó ń kojú ọ̀gbìn cashew ní orílẹ̀-èdè wa Nigeria ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́. Ẹ rí i pé bí àmọ̀ràn ó ti ọ̀pọ̀ ní ọ̀rọ̀ àlejò wa torí iṣẹ́ wọn ni ojú wọn ti rí lóyún ìdí iṣẹ́ yìí pé à ń gbin cashew òun náà ló jẹ́ kí àmọ̀ràn wọn kó dàbẹ́ ni pé ó pọ̀ fún ìjọba lónìí pé ìjọba wa ó yẹ kẹ́ ẹ tún ṣe dáadáa sí jù báyìí lọ ká tó wá máa lọ mo fẹ́ kẹ́ kí àwọn èèyàn yín àwọn ọlọ́gbìn cashew yòókù ó yẹ tiẹ̀ ní words of encouragement fún wọn irú táìmù báyìí with some of the challenges that you talk about words of encouragement to other cashew farmers agripreneurs outside there àwọn tó ti ń wò pé àwọn náà fẹ́ di agripreneurs bíi tiyín báyìí wọ́n fẹ́ máa dán bíi tiyín báyìí kí ni ọ̀rọ̀ yanjú yín fún wọn bá ṣe lọ.
ẹ̀rí ìyànjú tí mo ní fún gbogbo àwa tá a ti kọ́kọ́ wà nínú iṣẹ́ yìí ni pé ẹ má jẹ́ sọ pé a ní dá oko tuntun ẹ jẹ́ tó máa dá oko yìí sí ayé ìdílẹ̀ tó pọ̀
don't give up
ẹ má ti sọ̀rọ̀ ìtinú yóò padà dọ́là ni o ẹ má gbàgbé pé cashew yìí náà là ń ra 35,000 nígbà kan lónìí 520,000 560,000 là ń ra 1 ton of cashew so ṣe rí i pé ó ti ń dọ̀bẹ̀ bọ̀ ó ṣe é jókòó tì ẹ jẹ́ ká tẹ̀síwájú mo tún gbàjọba náà nímọ̀ràn ẹ má rò pé òṣòwò ní òkìní yìí o bó bá ṣe pọ̀ tó òun náà lówó tẹ́yìn náà ó rí o so ẹ ràn wá lọ́wọ́ ẹ fowó lẹ̀ fún wa ẹ jẹ́ kí oko wa tàbí ilẹ̀ tá a bá ní kó jẹ́ ohun ìdúró fún wa tí ẹ fi lè máa fún wa ní ìgbọ́wọ́ nínú iṣẹ́ yìí for National Cashew Association of Nigeria too tí mo jẹ́ ọ̀kan lára wọn I want to encourage you ẹ má jẹ́ kí ó rẹ̀ wá. Let's continue to be faithful to our organization and continue to advocate for this crop until we have our own department. Well, you can need department ní láti federal to the state to the kini pé this is cashew department ní Federal Ministry of Agric ní orílẹ̀-èdè ó yẹ ká ní tiwa kán lè mọ̀ wípé àdúró tán torí lóòótọ́ ni wọ́n ti fi cashew náà sára the 4 crops fún export non-oil exporting crop so tí wọ́n fẹ́ ràn lọ́wọ́ ẹ jẹ́ káwa náà dúró déédéé ẹ jẹ́ kí àwọn adarí wa náà kan ṣòótọ́ pẹ̀lú àwọn ohun tí a bá kó sí ìkáwọ́ yín. Wá tí ó dẹ̀ jẹ́ supporters, want to encourage you to please, let's all of us play by the rules. Don't let us cut corners. Stay at Lagos. Exporters, please stay at Lagos. Stay at the port city. Don't come to the villages. We are losing money to all this malpractices that you are doing. So let the investors be able to recoup their money. The licensed buyers will be faithful enough to bring it to you. So, and to all my clients all over Nigeria, thank you very much. My customers that have been supporting me, and for everybody, my family, because if there's no home, you won't be able to have, a good mind. To my wonderful wife, Falake Turiola, thank you for your support. And my children, thank you. Father, Daddy doesn't always sleep at home. Always on the field.
On the farm, on the field.
On the field all the time, consulting here and there, trading, selling. I'm so grateful. Even for this organization for calling me, inviting me today. Thank you very much.
All right, that's it for today on Africa's First Agro TV. Let's talk Agric, the first edition in the month of March 2022. And as we wrap it up for today, we want to present this token of our love to Mr. Toriola Adewale Tokubo. You can see he's excited. We are doing this on behalf of our CEO and the MD of Survivor Poultry Farm Services Television, who is also the executive producer of this program. We are giving you this as a token of our love to appreciate you for your time, for being on the show.
Oh, thank you very much. May this organization continue to grow.
Amen.
According to your name, Survivor, you.
Listeners, on behalf of our executive producer in person of Mr. Oluwatobiloba Odunto and the HOS in person of Omoni Samson, and of course the crew that work together today in person of Bisola and Okpemipo, I want to say thank you so much for staying tuned. And if you do enjoy this edition, please do join us next week, same time, same station, FCFS TV, by 12 noon to 1 p.m. for another episode of Let's Talk Agric. I remain your humble host, Sisi Teju is my name. See you next time.
Oníṣẹ́ ti gbọ́ SPFS TV tó milẹ̀ títí tó ṣàprápra tó tún lè lálejò tó táwọn yọ. SPFS TV òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ gbogbo. Ọ̀dà ṣóò ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ gbogbo. Àǹtí ṣóò ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ gbogbo. Ẹ̀yin àpẹ̀ṣẹ́ ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ gbogbo. SPFS TV lórí YouTube, subscribe. Ẹ̀kọ́ àgbẹ̀ tó yè kóró. Ìròyìn lóríṣiríṣi nípa agriculture. SPFS TV òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tókò. Ọ̀dà ṣóò ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tókò. Àǹtí ṣóò ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tókò. Ẹ̀yin àpẹ̀ṣẹ́ ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tókò. SPFS TV lórí Facebook, SPFS TV lórí YouTube, SPFS TV lórí Instagram. For your agricultural programs lóríṣiríṣi. Àgbẹ̀ ọlọ́sìn ẹja oríire ti dé, ọlọ́sìn adìyẹ má ṣe mí kan rárá. SPFS TV òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tókò. Ọ̀dà ṣóò ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tókò. Àǹtí ṣóò ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tókò. Ẹ̀yin àpẹ̀ṣẹ́ ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tókò.